B and B spoilers. Are they punishing Steffy, or just out of ideas? The Bold and the Beautiful has never been shy about putting Steffy Forrester through the emotional ringer. Over the years, she has survived betrayals, family feuds, dangerous enemies, romantic disasters, and more than a few situations that would have broken almost anyone else. Yet lately, some fans may be asking an uncomfortable question. Are the writers actually punishing Steffy, or have they simply run out of fresh ways to challenge her? Steffy is supposed to be one of the central power players in Lowe's Angels. She is confident, intelligent, fiercely protective of her family, and rarely afraid to speak her mind. That makes her one of the most naturally compelling characters on The Bold and the Beautiful. But when a character is constantly surrounded by crisis, there comes a point when the drama can begin to feel less like storytelling and more like repetition. And that may be exactly what is frustrating some viewers now. Steffy can't catch a break. Steffy's life has always been complicated. Her relationship with Finn has been tested repeatedly, her family has been caught in endless conflicts, and her connection to Sheila has created one nightmare after another. Just when Steffy appears to have regained control, another problem seems to arrive at her doorstep. That can work brilliantly when each crisis pushes a character in a new direction. The problem comes when the character keeps returning to the same emotional starting point. Steffy fights. Steffy gets angry. Steffy makes a bold decision. Steffy tries to protect her family. Then another crisis appears. For longtime viewers, that cycle can start to feel predictable. Instead of asking what Steffy might learn from her experiences, viewers may find themselves wondering how many more times she can be forced into the same kind of storyline. Is Sheila still the answer? One of the biggest questions surrounding Steffy is the continuing presence of Sheila Carter. There is no denying that Sheila is one of the soap's greatest troublemakers. Whenever she enters the picture, danger and chaos usually follow. Her obsession with Finn and her complicated history with Steffy provide plenty of material for explosive scenes. But even a legendary villain can become overused. If every major Steffy crisis eventually circles back to Sheila, the story risks becoming too familiar. Steffy has already spent years fighting to protect herself and her family from Sheila's influence. At some point, fans may want to see Steffy face a completely different kind of challenge. Perhaps the real conflict shouldn't be about survival. Perhaps it should be about Steffy questioning herself. Steffy's greatest enemy could be Steffy. One of the most interesting directions for the character would be an internal struggle. Steffy has built her identity around strength. She is the person others expect to have answers. She is a businesswoman, a mother, a wife, and a member of one of Lowe's Angels' most powerful families. But what happens when being strong isn't enough? What happens if Steffy makes a mistake she cannot immediately fix? What if she has to admit that one of her decisions damaged someone she loves? That kind of storyline could give Steffy emotional depth without requiring another villain to threaten her life. Instead of punishing Steffy with another external disaster, the show could challenge her beliefs. That would be much more interesting. The Finn problem. Then there is Finn. Steffy's relationship with her husband has been at the center of some of the show's biggest emotional battles. Their love story has endured extraordinary pressure, but that doesn't mean their relationship should remain stuck in the same pattern. Finn's complicated connection to Sheila has repeatedly created tension between the couple. Steffy's distrust is understandable, especially considering everything she has experienced. However, the writers have an opportunity to take the relationship somewhere new. What if Steffy begins questioning whether love alone is enough? What if Finn has to prove that he can stand beside Steffy without being pulled into someone else's chaos? And what if Steffy realizes that constantly protecting herself from betrayal is preventing her from truly trusting anyone? Those questions could create powerful drama without turning Steffy into a perpetual victim. Family drama is getting exhausting. Of course, Steffy's problems don't stop with Finn and Sheila. The Forrester, Spencer, Logan, and other powerful families have spent decades battling over love, business, loyalty, and revenge. Steffy has often found herself directly in the middle of those conflicts. Family drama is essential to a soap opera, but there needs to be movement. If Steffy is constantly fighting the same people over the same issues, viewers may eventually stop feeling shocked by the conflict. What would happen if Steffy walked away? What if she refused to participate in the latest family war? That could actually create a fascinating storyline. Imagine Steffy deciding that she has spent enough of her life fighting other people's battles. Instead of reacting to everyone else's decisions, she could focus on building something entirely her own. That would be a genuine evolution. Could the writers be punishing her? There is also a darker interpretation. Maybe Steffy is being deliberately humbled. Soap operas often take powerful characters and knock them down. The purpose is usually to remind viewers that nobody is invincible. Steffy has been portrayed as someone who can take control of almost any situation. Perhaps the writers believe she needs to lose that control before she can grow. If that's the plan, there is nothing inherently wrong with it. But the payoff has to justify the pain. If Steffy suffers only so another character can look stronger, fans will understandably become frustrated. If Steffy's struggles eventually lead to meaningful growth, however, the same storyline could become one of her strongest chapters. Give Steffy something new. The easiest solution may also be the most obvious one. Give Steffy a new story. Not another love triangle. Not another Sheila confrontation. Not another family argument that ends with everyone shouting. Give her a challenge that has nothing to do with romance. Let Steffy make a major business decision. Let her take a professional risk. Let her mentor someone younger. Let her discover a side of herself that she has ignored for years. Perhaps she could even make a mistake at work and have to rebuild her reputation. That would allow viewers to see Steffy as more than a wife, daughter, mother, or rival. She could become the architect of her own future. Fans want Steffy to win, but not easily. The answer isn't necessarily to make Steffy's life perfect. That would be boring too. Fans don't need Steffy to win every battle. They need her battles to mean something. There is a huge difference between watching a character struggle and watching a character repeatedly suffer without meaningful development. Steffy can lose. She can make mistakes. She can be vulnerable. She can even be wrong. In fact, those things could make her more relatable. But every setback should take her somewhere. If the writers want Steffy to fall, then let her rise differently. If they want her marriage tested, let the experience permanently change her relationship. If they want her challenged by Sheila, let Steffy finally discover a new way to deal with that threat. And if they want Steffy to face herself, that might be the most compelling story of all. The real question. So, are the bold and the beautiful writers punishing Steffy? Maybe. Or perhaps they're trying to keep one of their biggest characters at the center of the action. The problem isn't that Steffy has too much drama. The problem is whether that drama is taking her anywhere new. Steffy Forrester has already survived enough to prove she is strong. Now the show should prove that she can change asterisk. She doesn't need another reason to fight. She needs a reason to grow.